tatta dhim tatakita dhim tadim tattam.
In most philosophical and spiritual traditions, self-enquiry is at the very heart of their practice. And yet, for many of us, self-enquiry can seem as if it's a very mind-dominated intellectual exercise, that it can appear to be something about lots of theory and texts and traditions and rituals and practices and techniques. And for some of us, it can be as if it's a very self-centered activity. I've often heard people ask me, how can we do self-inquiry when there's so much trouble going on in the world? Shouldn't we be out there doing something? Isn't this something very self-indulgent? So we think self-inquiry is a luxury, and it's only to be undertaken when we are not troubled by anything else, or we're not called upon to do anything else. And yet in ancient traditions, self-inquiry is not just something that we do, but it is the very approach to living. It is the very way in which we live our lives from day to day. So what is this kind of self-inquiry? In ancient ritual dance, it's called Yagna. In fact, dance itself is called Yagna. So you can see that dance here wasn't just something that you performed, but it was a ritual invocation that was intended as a way of supporting us in our day-to-day, everyday lives, whether we are cooking, cleaning, working, fighting, whatever it is that we're doing. This is supposed to be the approach that we take. And in this understanding of self-inquiry, there are two very important dimensions to it. One is the allowing. So we don't have to construct a theory about reality or God or life or death. We don't have to make these theories up. All we have to do is to allow the intelligence, because reality is conscious. The earth is conscious, or everything around us is sentient and conscious. We don't need to make up a story for them or a theory about them. All we need to do is to allow that intelligence to connect with us, because our mental consciousness, which is also extremely helpful and divine, but we locate it in places where it's not very helpful. And one of the functions of our mental consciousness is actually to segment, to fragment, to separate, to define. While this is good for some things, but it doesn't really help us in experiencing the totality of reality. So one of the practices in dance, which is really beautiful, is overflowing the boundaries. So it is this allowing the overflowing of our boundaries, not being limited or held or caged in or contained, but to allow. It's like a dam that can be released and the waters can flow outside. That is all we need to do. The other part of allowing, which is equally important, is letting go. So it is about, because if we are already full of distractions and activities and things we're doing, it's like a cup that's already full. There is no more space or time for us to be able to take in anything else. So the letting go is an important aspect of the allowing, but the two go together, because otherwise when we let go, we go into this contraction, this austerity, and the sense of being withdrawn and almost rather brutal. So the allowing and the letting go are two parts of the very same dance of reality. And so this is the invitation of self-inquiry in ritual dance, is to allow the dance of reality to fill us and to move us, to allow it, just like the music of the flute, to allow it through our bodies so that we can become the dance of reality itself.